tell me a little bit about yourself. What got you into culinary school? Tell me a little bit about that.
I watch Travel Channel, and I like Anthony Bourdain and Andrew Zimmer.
Zimmer.
And I like how they describe the food, and I just started cooking myself, actually. And I could spend 3-4 hours, 5 even, in the kitchen and just doing the whole thing. And I just love cooking.
Yeah, good. That's definitely a good thing. Had you taken any college courses before? Have you been to school before?
I'm still in high school. I'm a senior right now.
You're a senior. Okay, wonderful.
And I did take a couple courses this past summer. It was macroeconomics and U.S. government.
Okay, perfect. So just kind of general education classes, very good. And so obviously you have a support system here, so you feel like, that helps you, having someone kind of, motivate you, that kind of deal. Do you feel like you're pretty self-motivated though yourself?
Myself? Somewhat.
Somewhat? Okay.
Not somewhen.
Somewhen.
When I want to be.
When you want to be? Okay. Well, for sure. Well, that's good, because it definitely takes a lot of motivation to get through any college, I believe, through personal experience myself, and so that's really important. You definitely have to have some kind of support system, so that's good. Well, good. So it's a little bit about you. And so are you working right now?
Yes, I am. I'm working at the Dallas Cowboy Pro Shop at Brownsville, and I've been working there for 2 months.
Very cool. So you have work experience. You ever worked in the industry before?
No.
No? Okay. That's okay. We definitely don't require any kind of, previous experience in the field, just because we do have a lot of students that, are sometimes teachers for years or doctor for years. We've had lawyers come in here, and just kind of a change of pace. They decided that food has always been their passion, and so they want to go back to doing what they love. So that's the good thing. We're definitely not going to hold that against you. We hope that we can, while you're in school, I don't know if you plan on working, but we do encourage our students to get as much experience in the industry as they can. Just because I know from, again, my experience, I'll speak a lot about my experience in the culinary industry. For me running a kitchen, I did look to see the education, where it came from. Just knowing as a graduate myself from a Cordon bleu, I knew what these students had coming into the job. I knew what skill set they had, but it definitely is a performance-based industry. And the more experience you have, the better off you'll be. So that's good. Okay. All right, well, let's kind of jump into this. Obviously, she's not talked about any programs. We have a couple of programs here. I'm going to kind of discuss them with you before we get into the interview. We have, for high school students that are coming in, I would be assuming summer, fall start?
Fall.
Fall? Okay. 2011. So we have our certificate programs, which I feel are great. I went to the associate degree program, but getting your associate's degree can be obtained through a cheaper, community college. So it's good. We have the certificate programs. We have the culinary and the patisserie and baking. Are you more so into the culinary or more into the baking?
Culinary.
Culinary. Okay, I thought so. Me too. I'm not a baker. I'm not a dessert gal. I like to eat it, but I can't make it. So I was very set on the cooking because it's fast paced. I was on my toes, and baking requires a little bit more patience. And I think when you're in the kitchen and in the moment, you don't really have a lot of patience. So very good. So, what kind of impact do you think that your education will make on your personal life?
My teachers, that they give me an impact, actually. So, I remember a couple of teachers that I used to have that were like, Michael, better do this because I believe in you. I'm like, okay, thank you. And it's just, those words helped me become a better student and better person.
Now, obviously you're a high school student, so there's really nothing that has prevented you in the past from pursuing this, so that's pretty good, and you feel like right now is the right time because you're going to graduate,
Yes.
correct? Yeah. It's usually the answer for our seniors. So you pass that section. I'm just kidding. You're fine. So, tell me about your overall experience at school. I mean, do you face any challenges? Are there anything, like, in particular that you just absolutely love about your classes? I mean, you mentioned your teachers, so is that pretty much sum it up? Or talk to me a little bit about your school.
Well, my school.
Like your classes.
My class.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I first chose engineering to be my pathway, but I changed it to culinary, but there's not really, in the city, there isn't a culinary program, so I'm like, why? And in other cities, like Huntington, they have one, and in Westlaco, I believe they have one, but in Brownsville, they don't have one, but I just have engineering, but engineering is a cool class, too, so I build my own houses, do everything.
Oh, it's creative. You already have
architecture.
that artist kind of mind.
Yeah.
Very good. And if you were to go back and do it all over again, would you? Is there anything you would change, or are you pretty satisfied with where you've ended up?
I change a few things here and there.
Yeah. What kind of things?
Just choices. Because I went to 2 high schools. One was just pure architecture, the one was law, and the law school also had a little bit of architecture. But I think I would try to go to a little bit of law-based things just to know. But
yeah. So the subjects that you studied, you would have changed that. Yeah. It's good to recognize that, you know. I think it's just one of those questions where, you know, it's kind of, you self-evaluate yourself after those years, and you go back, and it's a big thing for a person to admit or to figure out what they would change, you know, if anything. A lot of people are like, no, it got me to where I'm at. And, you know, it's true. I mean, I feel the same way. But there are little things that I would have changed, little decisions. So, very good. So... So he's like the judge. So in the industry, you know, it's extremely important, time management, organization skills. You're going to be put under a lot of pressure, you know, a lot of pressure in the kitchen. You know, you got people yelling at you, you got dishwashers quitting on you, you have, you know, managers, front of the house. You're going to be dealt with a lot. Can you give me an example of a time in which you were put under pressure and you completed a task, whether it was a school project, you know, something that your family needed you to do? Just an example of what it was and how you managed.
Every year, well, last year and this year as well, there's a robot competition, and it's in the college called HESTech. Well, it's called Pan Am, but the organization's called HESTech. And we build little robots that we build them out of Legos, we program it and everything. And our package came in 1 week late, so we only had a week and a half to build it. We built it and we got their place.
There you go.
And we were in a team of 5.
And what kind of skills did you feel like you guys had to use in order to complete that with having a week taken away from you?
Time management, obviously. Creativity on how to design the robot. Our creativity, pretty much.
Yeah.
Our knowledge for programming the robot. And trying to figure out a step ahead of the other people to try to figure out what they program so we can be a better programmer and defeat them.
So thinking ahead and observing. Very good. Very good that you mentioned those things, because they're all, you know, skills that you're going to have to either acquire or you're just going to have once you step into that kitchen, especially the teamwork, you know. Even as a chef, you know, I was a head chef, but I definitely couldn't do it without my team. And they taught me as much as I taught them. So that's very important that you mentioned that. You definitely have to be able to work independently, and use those organizational skills and